is weird when your father is shooting your video. Getting into mood. Hi, what's up? My name is Archasha and hello to all the new viewers and welcome back to the old ones. Today's card that we're digging in, I wanted to make a video of this because I have used a lot of new techniques. One is how to make watercoloring really easy. So I'm very bad at watercoloring. I saw this video by Christina Werner where she used brush pens and she made watercoloring very easy, and I tried it out and it was fantastic. And second, I'll be using a stencil and a spatula to create a texture on my card, which I have only seen someone as experienced as Vicky doing it. I'll be using some simple things, but I'll show you how to use them. And letting out on a secret, I used the spatula and the stencil for the first time on camera, so I was really nervous, but I think I managed, and if I can do it, of course you can do it. This card that I'm giving in is for my roommate. She's a very colorful and glamorous and sparkly kind of a person, so I had to make something like that. So this card is very colorful, very sparkly, and it is themed around a mermaid. Also, stay tuned in because at the end I have fooled my roommate that I'll be taking an interview, but during the interview I'll be giving her the card. You can watch her hilarious reaction, which is at the end of this video. Let's just go in.
So the first thing that I'm going to do today is secure my panel. This is around 3.5 centimeters by 4 centimeters. I'm securing it with a washi tape. Now I'm going to take my Eco Brush Pens by Art Lounge and create the underwater kind of background. This method in particular, I have actually seen it to be done by Christina Werner, where she takes the brush pens and then tries to pull the colors by using water brush pens. This water brush pen is by Kabir Art, which I bought from Amazon, and I'll link the details down below. So what I've done is I am just drawing random waves, and I'm going to go from light to dark, light being on the top and dark being at the bottom, and then I'm going to take my brush pens and pull these colors. So I'm really bad at watercoloring, and I think this technique that Christina has taught us is really cool. What I'm trying to do is, as in when I'm progressing with the darker shade, I'm trying to incorporate the darker shade back in the lighter color so that it looks like a continuation and it adds a little pattern to it. In between, I am trying to dry my paper with a normal hair dryer and then going in again. This helps me layer the different colors on top of it. Once you're happy, you can pull your washi tape out, and as you can see, the page is a little warped, but doesn't matter. I'm going to put some heavy weight on it. Next, I'm going to add some more texture, and I wanted to add a lot of glitter in this card because the person I'm making is a very colorful and glittery person who loves a lot of glitter and colors. So I've taken the stencil and I'm taking the 3D outliner by Fevicryl, and using my spatula I'm trying to fill in the little holes. Then I'm adding a little droplets to create the bleach kind of effect. Next, I wanted to add a little more shimmer and silver, so I'm just taking a little of that shimmery gel and trying and rubbing it on the background. Next, I'm going to add a little more droplets using white poster paint. Here the characters that I'm going for today is obviously a mermaid, a seahorse, and I went ahead and googled a lot of underwater sea plantations, and these were the good ones that I came with. I think one is a seaweed, the other is a coral reef. The details of all the colors that I'm using today, I'm going to list them down below. Also, I'm going to list all the products that I've used for making this card, and you can just take in these and color and have your favorite television program in front of you, and it's very de-stressing. I was really confused for the color of the hair because I did not want to go for the typical red Ariel hair, so I opted for silver and I just gambled with this color, and I really liked how it turned up. And the colors that I'm going to use for her fins are purple and green, and they go pretty well with the gray of the hair. I'm going to make a kind of, what do you call it, like an evanescence effect, is that what it's called? I don't remember. Like a rainbow kind of effect, a holographic effect, using purple and green. And I'm gonna also layer the fins later with a lot of glitter to make that fish scaly kind of color. Now using my alcohol markers, I'm gonna go and just make an outline around this, add little more details onto my little mermaid, and cut all of this out. I'm just fuzzy cutting it and keeping around a 1mm border around. While assembling the card, I realized I need to make a little ground, like the seabed. So I took normal yellow cardstock, and then I'm taking my artistry ink in the color Rusticana, and I'm going to add a little soil-like texture using a very light hand, and basically creating a sandy kind of color on this cardstock. And initially you will see it looks a little blotchy, but trust me, once it dries up, it's very smooth and gives a very good polished finish, so you don't have to worry that it looks very blotchy. While assembling the card, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a lot of layers, so that it gives a little 3D effect. So I'm just trying to see where everything goes. I'm going to use glue as well as foam tape to create those layer kind of things, so that it appears one is behind the other. And of course my main characters, that is the mermaid and my seahorse, I'm going to secure them using a foam tape. Here I'm just playing with the different coral reefs because I don't want similar colors next to each other. So I think this works best so that the pink and reds are not together. Now, as I told you earlier, I'm using the Fevicryl Hobby Ideas 3D outliner to create that holographic effect on her hair and her fins and her clothes. And using a white correction pen, since I don't have a white gel pen, but I think it works perfectly fine. I'm trying to create a little shine on her body as well as the seahorse and the seaweed. I also added a little texture of sand on the seabed, and I think it adds a pop on it. Now for the sentiment, I really wanted to use that blue color because it is the color of the ocean, and I had this scrap piece of black cardstock. I think I used this for my previous card as well. I'm gonna cut this out, and I really wanted to use this patterned scissor which I've never used. I am going to draw a line because usually whenever I use it I end up cutting a crooked line. I think that is the reason I never used this. But using this method where I just join the lines, the result is pretty good and it creates a beautiful trim. Now just to add a little more element, what I thought is I'll thread in my baker's twine and create a few holes using my scissors and tie a little knot. Just add a little more fun element to it. Looks really cute. Now to embellish this a little more and make this more glamorous, just like the person whom I'm going to give this to, I decided to add a little more blue rhinestones to create more shine and shimmer, just like how the underwater looks very shimmery and beautiful basically. So now I'm going to stick this on my card base and the card is ready. Here are few of the close-up shots of the card. I really love this one because it is so colorful and it has the underwater theme, and I love the ocean. Love how cute the seahorse looks and also all the colors on My Little Mermaid. And I love how the shimmer of green and pink creates this holographic effect on her fins. Isn't it so cute? Now it's time to finally give this card. Hi, Prawn.
Hi, Archie.
Okay, everybody, this is Pranati Kadam, and she's my lovely roommate, and she's a fashion blogger. Prawns, please tell us something about the Legilas.
I've started out with fashion, not just for tall girls or thin girls. It's for everyone. So whenever I put something out there, I keep everyone in mind. And about traveling, because I'm a traveler. I love traveling, and I am always visiting places. So,
Ooh,
stay tuned.
Okay. Today I have questions for Prawns. I'm gonna give you a sneak peek of the questions and then we'll ask. Okay, Prawns
I'm
think.
nervous.
Okay, Prawns thinks that I'm gonna take an interview, but I have a surprise for her. So this is the surprise.
Oh my god!
So
Oh my
I tricked her. It was a birthday and I made a birthday card. So I wanted to take a candid reaction.
That's so evil.
And the card is about a mermaid because Prawns sleeps like a mermaid. And I drool while sleeping.
And I'm prawns.
Yeah, and she's prawns. So I have not drawn prawns at that too.
It's okay.
Yeah, so I wanted to give you and capture this on camera, so I made all that story up. Do you like it?
God, yes, I love it.
I put all the glitter in the world on that card.
Oh yes. I
Okay,
just love
hold
it.
the
It's
card.
So colorful, just like I like.
Yes.
This is the best card.
Okay, we are signing off.
Like-
Please subscribe for Catchy School and Legilas. And bye guys.